Hi there, this is Charmander, and in this video, I am doing the ultimate guide to progressing in Doomsday Last Survivor from early game to mid game to late game. Now, if you haven't started an account yet, or you plan on starting a farm account, do use my referral link to get $100 worth of free items. This link typically works for PC users, so what you need to do is you need to log in to the Doomsday Last Survivor Star Referrer website and enter the special code Charmander within 6 hours of creating a new account to get $100 worth of free items. As well, potentially, I'm not sure if this still works, but if you level up your HQ to level 8, 15, and 20, you can potentially earn some gems as well. If you haven't made any purchases in this game ever, do use my special link to the gold store and use my special code, and that will give you some bonus on your first purchase in this game. I believe the first purchase only applies to anything that is not a pass, meaning it doesn't work on the monthly pass or the weekly pass. Anyways, in your journey to Doomsday Last Survivor and really building up your heroes and your account, you're going to encounter early game, mid game, and late game. So for early game, this is between T1 to T4 troops. Your goal is to build your foundation. So this part is going to be the most in-depth of this guide. The second part is going to be mid game, in which case this is for individuals who have reached T5 troops. So for mid game, you're going to have specific goals on top of the foundation you're building during early game. And finally, you reach end game, which is T6. And here your focus is going to build on top of what you've built during mid game. Now there is a phase after end game, but I think most players are not going to reach it. I will mention it at the end of this video, but for 99% of the people watching this, if not 99.5%, it will not apply to you. So why don't we start off with early game? So early game, when you have T1 to T4 troops, your goal is to build your foundation. Some key mindset that you need to keep in mind for early game is that you need to be very good at planning and saving for top commander. This means delaying gratification and really saving up your resources for you to use during top commander, because top commander is where you're going to get a lot of shards for your heroes. So don't waste your resources, save them for top commander. You also want to use the multiplier effect. So what the multiplier effect means is you are stacking benefits. So for example, during top commander under Splendid Steel, if you make a purchase, for example, then they're going to give you bonus exquisite file. So that is what I mean by multiplier effect. So obviously the more multiplier effect there is, the better it is for you. You can get ahead in this game so much faster the more multiplier effect you take advantage of. I've seen some events where you can get 3x, 4x, if not 5x of the multiplier effect. So do keep an eye on those situations. Next, you also want to plan your path to getting T5 and T6 troops as fast as possible. So do go watch my video guide on how to get T5 and T6 troops. Finally, only use your speed ups after getting 30 helps. So what is a help? The help is this handshake thing that you see in the bottom right corner with the number 1. So I'm going to press it right now and boom, you provided help to everyone. So that is what a help is. So if you look at some of my research right here, for example, this research is 30 out of 30. That means it has maximum amount of help. So this will save you some speed ups, and it will also allow your research or construction or anything else to complete much sooner. Now that you have those mindset in the back of your head, I'll start off with free to play. So if you are a free to play player, I do recommend watching my free to play guide that I made a few months ago, as it is more in depth than this video for free to play players. With that being said, if you are a free to play player, your goal is to only work on one troop type at a time. So go pick if you want to be range main, infantry main, or rider main. I did make a video on the hero tier list for infantry, range, and rider. So go ahead and watch that to get an idea on which heroes you want to develop before picking which troop type you want to develop. Now, if you're someone that wants to play all three troop type, unfortunately, as a free to play player, you cannot do this in one account. So if you want to do that and play all three troop types, then what you need to do is make 3 different accounts. In which case, do use my special link so that you get $100 worth of free items for each of those 3 accounts that you create. As a free to play player, you are most likely going to be field focused because it's the easiest path for free to play players. Garrison focus is possible, but it will take a lot of time, and rally focus is nearly impossible unless you get a lot of free gold from your alliance. So if you have a generous alliance and they give you gold from the vault, then okay, you can be rally main as a free to play player. One of your goals as a free to play player is to awaken 2 hero pairs as fast as possible. So for example, if you are infantry main, then something like a Dot and Miyamoto are going to be your go-to heroes that you're going to focus all your legendary hero fragments in Awakening as soon as possible. That way, when you get to mid game and late game, you have two powerful heroes that can help you gain points. You also want to get to VIP 13 as fast as possible, because at VIP 13, you're going to get 3 legendary hero fragments per day, which is super hard to get for free-to-play player. But imagine if you get 3 per day, that means every 6 months, you can awaken 1 new hero. So in a year, that's 2 new heroes. This is on top of the other legendary hero fragments that you're going to get in the game just by playing. So potentially, you can have 3 to 4 awakened heroes per year if you get to VIP 13. Now, a lot of people will complain that it's hard to get gems as a free-to-play player. I would say it's not impossible. You can definitely get it. So you have to join the right alliance, complete much of the quests available as possible, and even killing zombies and hives can sometimes net you gems. So it's not impossible for sure. There's people in my alliance who have T6 and they are VIP 14 and they are free to play. Granted, they've been playing for 2 years, so it might take you longer than someone that spends money in this game. Another thing to keep in mind is for your first top commander, where you drop your resources, you need to save up 6 months worth of speed ups and other items before competing in top commander. That seems like a long time and it sounds kind of boring. And unfortunately, as a free to play player, that is the best path in this game. With that being said, if you have 3 accounts because you want to play all the 3 different troop type, it might be less boring because you have things to do because you're managing 3 accounts. You can also get involved in your alliance management. That way you have something to do and you are still being productive in the game, even if you don't have strong troops yet, because you are waiting 6 months before dropping your items for top commander. Now, for low spend players, I do recommend you to watch my low spend video guide, as it goes even more in depth than what I'm about to say. But again, you want to focus on one troop type only, so either range, rider, or infantry, and you want to focus on field. Garrison focus is possible, so if you want to be a garrison captain, it's also okay as long as you are low spend. And if you want to be a rally captain, it is possible as well as a low spend player. It will just take you a longer time and more focus. So do get VIP 13 as fast as possible, again for the same reason as a free to play player, in which case you will get 3 legendary hero fragments per day. For your first top commander push, I do also recommend you save up 5 to 6 months worth of resources before dropping them during top commander. That way you can guarantee a higher spot, if not first place, and potentially get up to 250 legendary hero fragments for your chosen top commander hero. The good news is, if you get lucky and you end up in a bracket in top commander that has less big spenders, then potentially you can have extra resources that you can save up and use for the next top commander, and you might not have to wait 5 to 6 months. Maybe you'll wait 3 months or 2 months. Next, if you are a mid-spend player, do watch my mid-spend guide video first, as I do go in depth about mid-spend players in that video. And the same rule apply here as well, where you want to focus on one troop type first. You can partially branch out later on, potentially after your first year of playing this game, but your first year you are going to be focusing on your specific troop type. You also want to pick your focus, whether you want to be field focused, rally focused, or garrison focused. So for me, during my first year, I am a mid-spend player and I have chosen to be rally focused. You also want to awaken 2 hero pairs that support your goal as soon as possible. So as a mid-spend player, I focus on awakening Julia and Lewis first. That way I was able to do what I really want to do, which is rallying. Eventually, I did awaken Bard as well, and I'm still working on him, so he's not fully transcended yet, but he's getting quite strong, and he's nearly transcended. So eventually, I will have complete my objective, which is having a Julia and Bard fully awakened with as high armaments as possible. As a mid-spend player, you also want to get to VIP 13 as fast as possible to get the 3 legendary hero fragments. If you want, you can also aim for VIP 14, and I'll talk about that more later on. Finally, if you are a dolphin or you are a whale, then do go watch my video on dolphin spender or whale spender to get a deep dive on how to approach this game from a dolphin or whale spender perspective. The good thing about being a dolphin or whale is you can have multiple troop type. You're not limited to just being infantry or range or rider. You can be all 3 because you are spending money and you can power them all up at the same time. I do recommend you still focus on which troop type to build first before you branch out, but it won't take you long before you need to branch out, because with money, you can get your 2 awakened heroes so much faster, meaning you can have a squad of 10 legendary heroes awaken before you know it, since you're dropping money on heroes in this game. You still want to awaken 2 hero pairs that support your goal as soon as possible, so whether you want to be field, garrison, or rally, if you spend money, you can do all 3. You also want to get to VIP 13 as fast as possible, possible because you still want to get the 3 legendary hero fragments first. But as a dolphin or whale spender, ultimately you probably want to get to VIP 17, which I'll discuss later on. Now, as a whale, you also have the luxury to get early game heroes that are super powerful, and that is Cynthia with the skin. So the Cynthia with the skin is ridiculously powerful, as well as her sister also with the skin. So you can get these 2 heroes early game, just drop the money, you'll get the skin, and you'll have 2 ridiculously powerful heroes very early game. And whenever you're doing top commander, don't be shy to use money to get ahead. So if you need to go buy some exquisite file for Splendid Steel to level up your super weapon, and that's what you need to do. So you can go to limited promo and you can get some exquisite file here. So since we're talking about top commander, I do recommend you watch my top commander videos. I made a video vlog, you could say, of my journey from day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, and day 6 and 7 of this new top commander. So you can get an idea how it works. Basically, my advice for those pursuing top commander besides saving up your resources is the following. So for day 1, you want to drop all your speed ups, whether that be construction, research, beast speed up. You can also use your universal speed ups, although I recommend you only use it for research because you want to unlock the T5 and T6 troops as fast as possible. Again, watch my T5 and T6 video guide to learn more how that works. You can also use healing speed ups if day 1 of top commander is after a big PvP event such as Island Raid, Archipelago Raid, or Genesis War. For training speed ups, I would use a training squad expansion of 50x or 20x and then use your speed up until there is just enough time that by the time the day 3 of top commander starts, which is a troop training day, you can collect the points from the troops that you have trained. Do keep in mind that for top commander, you can only earn 100 million points on your speed ups on day 1. So you can't be one of those people that save up resources for 9 to 12 months before dropping it because they have capped it for people who have been doing that. So you can only get 100 million points per speed up per top commander for day 1. You also want to finish any quest that is involved with Splendid Steel. So if you look under missions, there is a bunch of missions that you need to complete. So do complete them to get as many exquisite file as possible. You'll need them to get super weapons in this game. For day 2 of top commander, it is the roulette and hero theme. So for this one, you are going to want to use all your normal search and advanced search. They don't give you as much points as they used to, but they still give you points. You also want to level up your hero, so either using the hero badges or leveling up your hero EXP or using your legendary or elite hero or uncommon hero fragments. Energy course also gets you points if you are leveling up your super weapon. And finally, the lucky roulette is something that will probably give you the most points during this event. So I don't recommend free-to-play players or low-spend players to use lucky roulette for ranking in this event. You can use it to get heroes, but I wouldn't get it other than unlocking a hero. You want to save your gems for VIP. If you're mid-spend, you might be able to save up enough for this, but typically the lucky roulette is better served for dolphins or whale spend players. Now for day 3 of top commander, it is the training and roulette theme. So for here, again, you can do the lucky roulette. You can also pick up your squads from your barracks to get points. I would also recommend you finish bounty ground on this day because you don't have that many options to earn points, and frankly, bounty ground doesn't really earn you a lot of points, but do your best to finish the entire bounty wheel during day 3. You also want to finish water war during day 3 to get the points from this event. The points are minimal, but you might as well finish it because you get exquisite file from them. And if you have 300 or more exquisite file, you can also drop your file on day 3 to get some points. Although I would recommend you save up your files until you have enough to rank at least in the top 5, in my opinion. Otherwise, I feel like it's not worth it because it takes so long for you to get enough of the energy course. So I would say if you don't have enough to rank to top 5, I would just save it until the next event. For day 4 of Top Commander, it's going to be the vehicles and zombie theme. So basically, besides killing zombies and hives, when you go to your vehicle workshop, if you level up any of these devices, then you can earn a lot of points. When you upgrade from tier 1 to tier 3 or tier 2 to tier 3, you also get a massive points boost, but it's a one-time thing only. So you have 6 areas here in the workshop that you can level up and 6 opportunities to get that massive points boost. So use it wisely if you want to get ahead during this event. Keep in mind also that during Top Commander Day 4, the vehicle you can only get 100 million points. So don't go crazy dropping all your resources on this if you've already come close to maxing this out. You can also use magic tickets from the Julia Magic Tickets event, which also is available on day 5. So on day 5, you can also use the Julia Magic Ticket. You can also use armory cards, killing zombies, and gathering resources on the world map, as well as armament tracking. So armament tracking is in the police station, so you can use armament tracking to get points here. You can also use your equipment, so you can level them up and you can get points. You can also level up the parts and you can get points. So whatever you saved up, you can feel free to drop them here on day 5. And then finally, you have day 6 and 7. This is the all-star theme, and as you can see, you can still earn points from speed ups, but it's less points. I do recommend you using your speed ups here still, because your competition are going to be using it here. So even though it's not the most amount of points gained, your competition are using it, so you have to use it to be able to compete with them. You can hone armaments, kill zombies, kill hive minds. For armaments, it's better to use it actually on day 5, but I wouldn't recommend you to hone the purple honing chips, because you want to use that during the honing challenge event instead, in which case you would use between 300 to 550 of the purple ones to get red hones. So just use the blue ones for this event. Last but not least, besides those factors, there's also the Great Hunter, which I can't click right now, but basically these are arrows. So you need 1,000 arrows to get rank in that event. If you don't have 1,000 arrows, you're wasting your arrows because you're not going to get rank. You might get some points for top commander, but it's ultimately a waste. So wait until you have 1,000 arrows before dropping it on Great Hunter. Now, as far as what heroes to use in this game, I do recommend you watch my range, infantry, rider, leader, and elite hero tier list to determine which heroes would be the best for you to use. I also recommend watching my zombie hunting hero, so you have a group of heroes that you would use for the sole purpose of farming zombies, and also my gathering hero tier list so that you know which heroes to use for farming resources on the world map. And finally, watch my range, infantry, and rider hero pair videos so you can see which 2 heroes would be best paired for your specific troop type for the purpose of doing field, garrison, or rally. Now, in regards to your gems, the best use of your gems, as mentioned at the start of this video, is actually to use it for your VIP. So you want to get to VIP 13 as soon as realistically possible. That way you can get guaranteed 2 awakened heroes per year, as I mentioned earlier as well. You also only want to use your gems during the gem rebate event, because during the gem rebate event, which goes on for 2 days, you can get a total of 30 legendary hero fragments, which is a lot. If you've already gotten to VIP 13, then I would say the next thing that would be good to do is to use it on Lucky Roulette, but only for the purpose of unlocking a hero. So as you can see, if you roll 10 times, you can get 5 of the legendary hero fragments, and if you roll 45 times, you can get 10. So you can try for 10 rolls for one top commander, and then the next time that top commander for your specific troop type comes again, you can roll 10 again, and you can unlock the hero that you want. So this advice is mainly for people who are free to play or low spend. If you're mid spend or higher, you can roll more to awaken the hero even faster. If you are somebody that is Dolphin or Whales level spending, you can go ahead and finish all 150 rolls to get the max rewards for Lucky Roulette. Now, if you've already completed that as well, depending on what spending tier you are, I recommend you go to the store and go to the VIP store, and you want to buy all the speed ups here that you can buy with your gems. So there's the 30-minute speed up, the 60-minute one, and also the 8-hour one. And this is really going to help you in your journey to get to T5 and T6 as fast as possible. This is how I was able to get T5 and T6 pretty quickly. Like, I got T5 when I was only 39 million might, and it was because someone in my previous alliance told me that buying these speed ups here will speed up my journey, and it was one of the best decisions I've ever made. So I'm glad I listened to that guy. And if you do it right, you should be able to get your first T6 when you are 100 million in might. So usually by 95 to 98 million, you would get your first T6. I got mine when I was 98 million might. Next is an event called Bloody Brandy. So Bloody Brandy is a great event for getting parts. So if you've already done Lucky Roulette, you've bought the speed ups, if you want to use your gems during Alliance League, usually that's when Bloody Brandy happens, then you can stack the benefits, as mentioned earlier, where you want to be able to take advantage of the multiplier effect, where when you use your gems during Bloody Brandy, you're also earning points in Alliance League. So it's a great way for you to stack your benefits, get Alliance League rewards while getting items from Bloody Brandy. And if you've already done all that and you still have extra gems to spend, if you're low spend or medium spend, I do recommend getting to VIP 14 as your final goal. If you are are a whale or a dolphin spender, get to VIP 17, which has a lot of these amazing benefits such as squad travel speed. And if you're a whale, then might as well get to VIP 18 as well. If you are low spend and mid spend and you already hit VIP 14, and obviously you're not gonna go for VIP 17, it's gonna take too long, you might have quit the game already by then I recommend using your gems during the gem rebate event to purchase items here that you would use to upgrade your hero, such as legendary hero fragments, for example. Now, a habit that you want to get into as early game is to finish all the daily events. This includes finishing the Z Virus adventures, and the benefit here is you get more EXP books daily by completing it. I would say Lewis is probably the best hero to use for this event, and it's also a good event to get Liam and Peggy fragments. Those two heroes you're going to be using early game, but later on you're not going to use Liam at all, and Peggy is still great for farming zombies or hives. You also want to finish Memory Lane to get more Jaden fragments, who is a good early game hero. He's also decent for free-to-play players, as you won't have very many heroes that will be awakened. So if you have a free awakened hero like Jaden, that is great. Once Jaden's awakened for you, you can also work on other heroes such as Peter or the other heroes that show up here in the memory store. You also want to finish all the radar station event. That way you can get the bottle caps that you can use to purchase legendary hero fragments, which is going to be your first priority here in this shop, followed by Maxine fragments, because an awakened Maxine is really good in this game as you get free resources from the box that she drops after you finish farming a resource node. Once you have completed Maxine, you can work on Martin as well. Although I would say Martin is mainly good for free-to-play players and low-spend players because you don't have much options outside of these guys. So as mentioned earlier, any free legendary heroes you can awaken is a good hero for you to have in your team. If you are medium spend or higher, maybe even low spend, you can also purchase the radar station pass, so you can purchase the exclusive items on the top. Something that you need to do early game but you don't do anymore by even mid game is going to be the scout camp. So here you can scout the map and you can get items after scouting the map. I haven't used this in a long time, but early game, this is something that you're going to be doing every day. Every day there's also the police station search. There's going to be 10 free normal search and usually 1 free advanced search per day. There's also a free search for survivors, and don't forget to also do your daily beast trappings. So here on this map you can do beast trappings, and you can also take your bees to train them and get EXP for them. Just one quick tip though is that when you are developing their research, you definitely want to research boosted tracking. That way you have higher grade trapping events, and you also want to level up your hunting cycle so you have more trapping events available. So those would be the big ones for sure that you would want, besides having added facilities so that you can have more beasts that you can train at the same time. For the workshop factory, you can go to the production site and produce some of these items here. So this is something that you need to do every day. At early game, you're going to be constructing buildings, so do construct the buildings to help you level up your HU to 25 as soon as possible. And of course, you want to gather resources on the map as much as you can. You want to gather all 4 different resources, which is going to be food, wood, steel, and oil. Oil is not used much in this game until you get to late game, in which case you are going to be running up oil all the time. So do not give away your oil. Keep them from early game, because by the time you get to end game, you're going to need all the oil that you can get. T6 troops are so expensive for oil. Besides the daily events, there's also the weekly events. So for the weekly events, the first one that we're going to cover is going to be the store, in which case you can go to the VIP store and there's items that you can buy with resources such as stamina, speed ups, and one of the best ones actually is the high performance motor, which you can use as a device for your heroes. As mentioned earlier, there's also Top Commander, which happens every other week. You also want to finish Bounty Ground on a weekly basis because there's so much items here in Bounty Ground and you would be doing yourself a disservice by not doing it. I know it gets boring after a while and everyone hates it, so you can just do what I'm doing, which is just AFK Bounty Ground. So I'm going to hit that, cancel. So I'm inside Bounty Ground, but I'm not playing it because I hate Bounty Ground. But after some time, it's going to end. I'm going to get maybe 50 to 100 tokens and rinse and repeat until it's finished. So I really hate Bounty Ground. I just don't want to do it. Every week on Mondays, there's also Antepede. So your alliance will schedule it. So join your alliance Antepede. And when you beat Antepede, then you're going to get a lot of carbon. Another weekly event is Pompeii. So you definitely want to join your alliance's recovery of Pompeii event. This is a great way to get items as mentioned. So there's battle chests. There's also items after you complete this event. If you win, you get more items. So hopefully you win. As of making this video, we have won 11 times in a row, but we lost today. So it's a sad day, but we are thinking of using a different strategy to upgrade our current strategy and hopefully beat our 11 win streak. You also want to join PvP events. So several times a month, there is going to be Genesis War, there is going to be Island Raid, and there's going to be Archipelago Raid. And I heard in the future, they plan on introducing even more PvP events, which is exciting. So make sure that you attend those even early game. So even if you can't really fight yet, just to learn what's going on, and you can still get some items in those events even during early game. So just go there, enjoy the fun, enjoy the vibe. It's a really nice place to be. I love PvP events. Most people do. So don't don't miss them if you don't have to. There's also that new event that looks like Monopoly, so definitely go and do that. There's also Alliance League, which happens about once a month. And of course, by the time I publish this video, there might have been new events that have been introduced. So don't miss any of those weekly events. As mentioned earlier, you definitely want to stack benefits at all times, especially when you're making a purchase. So besides Alliance League, there's also an event called Mystery Treasure, which if you make a purchase, you can get some shovels to help you get items for that event. And there's many events like that where you can stack benefits. So keep an eye on several events that's happening at one time. And this includes events such as the Wasteland Challenge. So stack as many benefits as you can so that you can get more items in this game and progress even faster. Besides your headquarters to level 25, some of the most important buildings in this game to upgrade is actually your lookout tower. So the lookout tower requires something called outpost toolboxes. And the outpost toolbox, the easiest way to get it is during the Rustle event, in which case when you farm zombies, they will drop a chest that contains outpost toolbox. So you want to save up all your stamina for that event so that you can get as many outpost toolbox as possible. That way you can level up your lookout tower, which is necessary for you to complete before you can level up your battle center. The battle center is going to be the biggest pain in the ass for most people in this game because it takes so long for you to farm it if you do it the traditional way of killing hives. Every time you kill a hive, you get a victory badge, and the victory badge is required for you to level up your battle center. So the battle center is required to increase the squad size of your rallies and ultimately required for you to get to level 25 so that you can level up your research lab to 25, which is needed to get T6 troops. So a lot of free-to-play players get stuck to T5 because they don't have enough gems to speed up their battle center, and it takes forever to do it the old-fashioned way of killing hives. So ultimately, you do want to use your gems to push your battle center to 25. That way, you can get your research lab to 25, and that way you can get T6. Once you get T6, you are going to be a lot stronger. T6 does make a huge difference. So that is definitely the troop type that you want to strive to get as soon as possible. One thing that they did do recently to help the free-to-play players and low-spend players get the victory badges is an event called Loot Exchange, in which case you can now get victory badges in that event as well. So that's a nice change in this game that they recently added. Next, we're going to briefly cover armaments. So for armaments, you need to watch my in-depth guide in armaments because I covered more deeply in that video. But basically, your goal for early game and mid game is to determine what troop type you want to be and focus all your armaments just on one hero. So I don't have a lot of strong heroes. I only have one really, and that's Julia with really strong armaments. But one thing to keep in mind is if you're free-to-play player, you can probably only level up one of your heroes to get gold armaments. The rest is probably going to be purple armaments. So you want to break down all your armaments so that you can go to the armament shop and purchase the fragments here that you need to level up your heroes' armaments. So like I said, if you're free to play or low spend, you don't have the luxury to put armaments in all your heroes. Even myself as a mid spend, I have one strong hero, the rest are not that strong. Like my Lewis is 2.2 mil, which is just average, you could say. My Cynthia is 1.6 million, my Adat is 2.1 million. So they're not very strong at all. Like even my Sophie is 1.2 million only. Rigaro, less than 1 million. So really, free to play and low spend, break all your armaments, and you can only level up one hero for the whole game. And maybe if you get lucky and you get 5-star armaments for all 6 of your legendary armaments, then you can branch out to the purple ones for your other heroes. But it's gonna take you a long time if you are low spend or free to play. At the very least, the low spend players can go to the special promo during the mega armament sale and purchase the silver one here, which will speed up their progress faster than the free to spend player. I'll talk about spend more in detail later on. If you are mid spend or higher, you can definitely push to get one hero with a full set of 5-star legendary armaments, which I'll talk more as we go along in this video. I want to just briefly talk about Beast. Now, I don't know much about Beast yet. I'm still learning about it, just like most people, but I do believe Beast is going to be super important into the future. And the one thing that I learned recently about Beast is when you're picking the right Beast, it's not even about like, oh, this Beast is fire, therefore it will beat the Beast that has leaf, and then the leaf will beat water and the water will beat fire. That's not really the big thing about Beast from what I heard. It's all about Beast synergy. So it's all about the main Beast and the assistant Beast and their skills pretty much bouncing off each other. So one will trigger the other. And if you do it right, you can have several triggering going on at once, meaning you can 2x, 3x, or 4x the damage you deal to your opponents. So that's how you want to think about Beast. It's still pretty new. So in the future, I will make an in-depth video on it as soon as I fully understand how it works. Next, we're going to cover some of the best purchases in this game. So if you haven't bought anything in this game yet, you need to go to the gold store and make your purchase there instead of the Google Play Store because it's cheaper there. When I say it's cheaper, there's no tax for a lot of countries. And second of all, when you buy gold, usually your $1 is actually equivalent to $1.20. So you get 20% more for your money. That means you can buy 20% more than people who don't buy from the gold store. If you've never bought in a gold store, do use my link and special code to get a bonus on your first purchase. So the single most important thing to buy in this game and the best thing to buy is actually the growth fund, which costs 20 US dollars, and you're gonna get 145,000 gems by the time you finish your headquarter to 25. This is a steal. It's such an amazing promotion. This will help you get your battle center to 25 or get to VIP 13 much faster. The next best thing to purchase in this game is a super monthly pass. As you can see, you can get a total of 26,800 gems per month with the super monthly pass, which is an amazing deal for $10 a month. So this is for players that is low spend or higher. If you're free to play, obviously you're not going to buy this unless your alliance gives you gold, in which case if your alliance gives you gold after you've purchased the growth fund, this will be the next thing that you would invest in on a monthly basis as a free to play player who's getting free gold from your alliance. But definitely if you're low spend or higher, this is a staple that you need to purchase every month. Another staple that you need to purchase is going to be the gem pass. So the gem pass is $5 US per month, and you're going to get a total of 11,800 gems per month if you purchase this, which is a really good deal as well. There's also the 7-day speed up pass, and I think this is only good for someone that's medium spend or higher, and only for someone that is trying to rush to get their T5 and T6 troops really fast, as this really helps a lot for that. I did not buy this to get T5, but when I was pushing for T6, I was buying this to help me get to T6 faster. There's also the radar station pass, which I think is a really good deal as it saves you time, gives you gems, gives you a lot of bottle caps that you can use to purchase items in the radar station. So for me personally, it's worth it, but I think it's only good for someone that's mid spend or higher, maybe even low spend if you want to, but most likely for someone that's mid spend or higher. Another good buy in this game is the daily boost. So if you are low spend or mid spend, you might want to invest on the daily $1 boost. If you're someone that is Dolphin or higher, then you want to get the $5 boost, which gets 3 legendary hero fragments per day. I don't buy this every day. I bought it today because of the Splendid Steel event. So you need to spend $10 worth of stuff that gives you direct gems, and this was one of the events, so I made this purchase. But normally the $1 one is the best bang for your buck, unless you are a whale or dolphin, in which case do buy the $5 dailies. Now on the top right here under special promo, the best thing to buy here is actually the mega armament sale in the silver one. So the silver one here, it costs $3. So it's a really good deal for $3. As you get 10 legendary armaments and 20 of the elite ones. So it's a good way for you to really get your armaments up. If you're mid spend or higher, the gold one is also really good, as you get 20 of the gold ones, meaning you get 30 if you buy the silver and the gold, meaning you have ranked up your armaments once per week just based on this. The parts contest is also a decent deal, but I would say only for mid spends or higher. The $5 elite parts is a good deal, but if you want to buy the $20 one, I think it costs $20 at least, then you should be a dolphin or whale. It would not be worth it for mid spend players or lower. There's also the equipment contest. I don't think it's worth it unless you are a dolphin or whale. So if you're a dolphin or whale, it is a good bang for your buck, but if you're not, then don't buy it, because you can just get it from Antepede or the arena or raiding trucks. There's also offers here at the top called endless offers. It's not available right now, but it is offered every week. So if you are mid spend or higher, I do recommend the endless offers, as you can get lots of gold armaments there to rank up your armaments even faster. Now I can't see it here on my game anymore because I have purchased it already, but in your workshop there is something called Mad Racer, which I think is a good deal if you want to get the sports car. And there's also the ultimate device, which is an amazing deal to get your tier 3 blueprints to level up your workshops. Now if you do want to spend a lot of money in this game, there's only 3 times in a year that I would recommend it, and they are Black Friday, Christmas, and the Doomsday Last Survivor annual anniversary. During those 3 periods, the game has ridiculously amazing promotions, like really good ones. And so if you want to spend a lot of money, spend it on those days. I wouldn't spend a lot of money outside of those days because the deals are not as good outside of those days. I did spend a decent amount during Black Friday because it was really good, but outside of that, it's not worth it. Don't do it. And if I forgot anything else, either for weekly events such as this one right here, which I forgot the name of it, there's different variations of that, also different promotions like Doomsday Vault that's happening right now, so it changes every week, so I can't mention all of it obviously, but do your best to finish all of them as you can get items from them. Now that we finished covering building the foundation during the early game, we're gonna cover mid game now. Now for your mid game, your goal here is to awaken your heroes. By the end of mid game, you should have at least 2 heroes that's fully awakened. So in my case, by the end of mid game, which is my journey into T5 going to T6, I have gotten Adat, Julia, and Lewis awakened. That was during my mid-game journey. I didn't get Bard awakened until I was T6, I believe. And I believe I got him awakened exactly when I also got T6. So besides having 2 heroes for your specific troop type fully awakened, you should have, by the end of mid-game, maxed out armaments for one of your heroes. So if you are mid-spend or higher, you should have the gold armaments fully at 5 stars at all 6 slots, minus the devices, because the devices are hard to finish. You're probably not going to finish it. So look at this. I'm not even close to being finished them at all. Now, if you are someone that is low spend, you're not going to be able to finish this yet. You will be able to finish it eventually, but probably not yet by the time you reach T6. In which case, you should have finish all 5-star of the purple armaments. And if you're free to play, you should be close also to finishing all 5-star of the purple armaments as well. So basically, free to play, close to finishing 5-star of the purple armaments. Low spend, definitely finish all of the slots with the purple armaments. Mid spend or higher, definitely have all armaments that is gold finish at 5-star by the time you finish the mid game period in this game. You should also have already firmly decided whether you're going to be a field focus player, rally focus, or garrison focus. You should have a strong understanding of the ins and outs of all the major PvP events, including GW, IR, AR, Pompeii, and whatever that gets released into the future. Your lookout tower should be 25, your battle center should be 25, your research lab should be 25 by the end of mid game, and you should be pushing towards getting your T6. So that is the milestones that you want when you reach mid game of Doomsday Last Survivor. Finally, we get to end game, which I just reached a month and a half ago, so I'm still new to end game personally, and definitely a lot of doors open up to me since getting T6. So the biggest thing with end game is by the time you reach T6, and you don't need to get T6 for all your troops, you need to get T6 just for your troop type focus. If you are somebody that is Dolphin or whale spend, potentially you will have all 3 different T6 very early on in this game. And your goal here is to really do well in the PvP events and any other feature events and max out the rewards that you get. By the time you get to end game, your goal at the very least is to have your troop type specific equipment all to red. So right now I have the gun, I have the body, but not yet the helmet as a range main player. So the helmet, I can actually upgrade it already, but I'm waiting until top commander before I use it. By end game, if you're mid spend, then you should have all your parts reach purple. If you are low spend, all the ones that you use should be blue with a few purples. If you're free to play, all blues at least. If you are Dolphin, then gold or red. And if you are a whale, you need white parts. If you're a whale and you don't have white parts, you are a disgrace to whales. If you are low spend or free to play, your ultimate goal is to have all your armaments at 5 stars. So your heroes might, if you're free to play, ultimately by the end of your Doomsday career should be 3.7 million. If you are low spend, it should be over 4 million. And if you're medium spend, I would say you could potentially reach to 5 million. If you're a dolphin or whale, you can reach 6 or 7 million. Because ultimately your goal as a dolphin or whale is to get all superb armaments to 5-star. If you're mid-spend, you can maybe get 1 or 2 or 3 pieces at 5-star. I'm a mid-spend player. I have 1 piece. It's going to take me a long time to get another 5-star piece. So I'm not holding my breath. It's going to be a long journey for that for sure. But if you're a whale or dolphin, definitely all your slots will have superb armaments at 5-star. Your IE augmenter should be 5-star, and your other devices should be 5-star, whether that be the turret or the hood or the drone or whatever else. If you are free to play or low spend, chances are you're going to be maxing out the purple devices like the nano purifier or the plasma blade. You could actually max out the IE augmenter also over time, even if you're free to play, just because this is one of the best items that you could actually purchase in the DLS store. As a matter of fact, I recommend this is the only thing you purchase in the DLS store unless you have extra ones, in which case you can get the golden nano coating. So even as a free to play player, you have a chance to get a 5-star golden device, which is the IE augmenter, by the end of your DLS career. And ultimately, your goal in this game is to enjoy it, join an alliance. You can also work your way up, become an R4 if you want. You can just be a member and be a super strong fighter for your alliance. You can be an R5. I did make a guide on picking an alliance or running an alliance, so you can go watch those videos if you are interested in that side of things. And the final stage in this game, if you are super competitive, is obviously to fight at the higher brackets. So I have no aspirations at all to fight at the higher brackets. I tried one time fight at a higher bracket. I had 0 chance to compete at all, but it was kind of interesting to see what happens during those events. So that's about it for this video. And if I forgot something, feel free to mention it in the comment section. I will do my best to address it. This has been a massive undertaking to make this video. And as mentioned, if you're new to this game and just making a new account, do go use my special link and special code Charmander to get $100 worth of free items. The code Charmander has to be entered in the Star Referral website, so you need to log in first before you can enter the code there. And you have to enter the code within 6 hours of creating a new account. And if you've never purchased anything in this game before, do go use my special link to the Gold Mall and use the special code to make your first purchase, and you can get a bonus on your first purchase by doing so. Anyways, that's about it for this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.